Alrighty class, so in today's video, I'm gonna show you niggas how to make spring rolls. Let's go. Come over here, Kazi-chan.
No. Yo, this man trying to get me killed at Walmart, bro. We're walking, he's talking about some, did you pay for those?
I was trying to get a viral clip. Alright, so to make these spring rolls, you're gonna need a few items. First, you're gonna need some authentic, organic rice vermicelli noodles, okay? If they don't say fine, do not dine, okay? You need the fine ones for these spring rolls. It's essential. If you get the thick ones, you're gonna look like an idiot, so don't do that. I've done that. Now the next thing you're gonna need, and this might very be the most important aspect because you can put anything in your spring rolls. It doesn't have to be what I'm gonna put in this video today. You're going to need some authentic, now I'm really emphasizing this, authentic ingredients, including authentic spring roll paper. If it has the 3 Asian ladies, I don't know what to rhyme with that. If it doesn't have the chicks, you're sucking dicks, okay? There we go. Now I did get 2 packs of them because I am a spring roll fiend, and like I said, you can't put anything in them. The other day I literally took leftover Chinese food and I put it in a spring roll wrap. It was okay. Now today I'm gonna be making chicken Lao spring rolls, okay? So for the seasoning, I will be using this. It's pretty sick, super sick. For the better half of the beginning part of this year, I learned all of my strats and how to roll these spring rolls from my sensei, okay? It was like the Karate Kid, except instead of an old man, it was a beautiful Asian woman, and that's where I got all of my skills from. Now let's continue with the ingredient list. On top of that seasoning, you're gonna need some limes because that is part of the mixture. You literally put that seasoning and these limes together with the chicken and it smacks. Let me move this back a little bit. Then next, you're gonna need some cucumbers because we're gonna slice them very thin. Next, you're gonna need some cilantro. This also goes in with the chicken. Very crucial. And then next, you're gonna need some green leaf lettuce. Okay, you can go for romaine lettuce, but I honestly typically like the green leaf because I feel like I'm wasting less of it. Romaine lettuce tends to have these long ass stems that just, dude, fuck that, okay? Now the next part here, now I don't know about you guys, but where I live in Wisconsin, we have Quick Trips, okay? And they're basically one of the greatest inventions in the entire history of creations as a whole. Think of like a gas station, except it's just a step above. Most of the food in there is above the regular quality of a gas station. It's kind of like a Midwestern version of 7-Eleven, to be honest. That's the best way to put it. Now there they do sell whole chickens that you can either cook yourself or come pre-cooked. However, I went to Walmart because they're a lot cheaper. So you should, whether you have a 7-Eleven or whatever, wherever you can get those locally, you should just try a Walmart because typically they do have a hot section near like the meats where you can get a lot of these things hot and for super cheap. Like I'm pretty sure this whole chicken was like maybe $6. So I got 2 of them. 2 cocks, let's get it. So as you can see, we have all of our ingredients here. Now without further ado, let's get it cracking. So the first thing you need to do is get your vermicelli noodles boiling. Okay, now on the back of it, it does have instructions both in Hmong and also in, wait, I think it's Hmong. It could be Vietnamese though, and I could just be completely racist. Forgive me, but they do have English instructions on the back, so I'm trying to get to. So the first part of it is that you have to boil the vermicelli noodles. Okay, so the water has to be boiling first, then you can put the noodles in, and then they have to cook for 10 or 15 minutes. Then once they're done, and trust me, you do not want to let these soak in the water for longer than that. You will regret it. Then after that, you need to rinse it in cold water. You will not be able to use a regular thick hole strainer for these. The noodles will be very thin. You need a very thin strainer. I'll show you mine. Here is my strainer. Okay, I'll let you see it up close. Very, very tiny holes. In fact, after I bought this one, I threw away my other strainers because I realized what's the point? Like the holes are low-key so thick, pretty much any regular spaghetti-esque noodle was just gonna go right through. It was super annoying. So the first thing we're gonna do is boil some water. I just have a regular pot. You can use bigger pots that like, professional Asians use. I'm only 15% Japanese, so forgive me. You can't see me right now because I'm too lazy to turn the camera, but I'm currently pissing in this pot. Well, that fills up with water over there. I'm gonna prepare the rest of this. So I'm gonna get out a cutting board because I need to cut the cilantro, cut the limes, and cut the cucumbers. Pot's like halfway full right now. For right now, you can just set the rice paper off to the side. And don't worry, I will angle the camera down when it comes time to actually roll these bad boys. So we'll focus less on my beautiful face and more on the beautiful eats. Okay, let me move these over by the pot where the water will go. Now, for me, as far as where I fill up the water in the pot to, you see like the little, hold on, there we go. You see like the little metal thing right there? I usually fill it up to right there where like they either just cover the little metal dots or like halfway. I do that for anything, whether I'm making spaghetti noodles, whatever. There we go. Put this on my dirty ass stove. Turn up the heat to high and let's get that boiling. In the meantime, let me grab another knife. So we have a nice knife, okay? Yeah, it's all black because I'm fucking Batman and your mother at the same time. So we're gonna do, you know what? We'll just do the cilantro first. We'll just get out of the way and then we'll put it in a side container, like in a bowl. Man, if that camera falls, it would just be super unfortunate. All right, so we're gonna take the cilantro out of the bag. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty lazy with this as well. So what I do is I just take it all out and I just slap it. I just smack it on the gut.
Make food. Stop making porn. Make food.
So I usually just keep it all together. I like to keep it pretty tight. Pause. It wasn't a porn thing. Dang, it wasn't a porn thing. I like to keep it pretty tight because then it's easier for the chopping. A good thing to do too is you can just cut it like halfway. So like, we'll do like boom. Cool. And then we'll leave this on the cutting board. We'll put this back in the bag. Smack it a little bit, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Now we're just gonna chop this up. You can chop it up however you want. I kind of variate between, different styles. Yo, imagine I cut like the tip of my finger off or some shit right now. Would you guys like and subscribe? Hit it different angles. You know what I'm saying? 7 positions in 70 minutes is probably the best to do here. You're really just mincing this up, you know? Because again, this is gonna go in the chicken seasoning, or in the chicken as part of the seasoning. All right, we're almost there. I honestly might cut up some more because like now that I'm mincing this, it just feels a little bit on the lesser side. Also, if this video gets 100 likes, the next cooking video will be featuring Dang as the guest star, okay? That should be enough. If we need more, I'll add more later, but I think we'll be good. So let me just put this in a bowl over here. Now we're only cutting up veggies and it's just me and Dang eating here. So like you don't exactly have to worry about cross-contamination, especially if this is just for you and your friends, you know? It's like sometimes I'll just like spit in a little bit. Dang usually says he likes extra flavor. He doesn't know where it comes from, but you know.
What is wrong with you?
So we'll do the lettuce last because you really don't need to do anything, honestly, especially if you buy the right kind. But next, we will do the cucumbers, okay? Because they're less juicy than the limes. So what you're gonna do with these cucumbers is first, you're gonna cut it in half right away and then cut off like the little end, right? And then you're gonna wanna skin these fuckers alive, okay? Just skin it alive so that you have less unneeded flavor there. Cause like usually the cucumber skin packs some flavor, right? Dang, you keep putting my knives in the wrong place. So I have a tinier knife and it's perfect for this, okay? Wow, if I turn it that way, you can barely see it, but if I turn it that way, you can see it. And I'm gonna pop a squat because I'm low-key fat. So just proceed to skin this cucumber alive. Try not to go too deep. I do that very often and like I'll fuck up a little bit. Also, if you guys want easier tutorials in making spring rolls, let me know. Like my idea here is just to really teach you guys how to make like super easy things. Spring rolls are a little bit more time consuming, but they're easier than you think. Like if you guys want to learn how to make like just like pasta, because like obviously everybody knows how to boil noodles, right? Everybody knows how to warm up sauce, shit like that. What scares a lot of people though is cooking with meat, and for good reason. You know, you can get really sick if you don't actually cook your meat all the way. And then not only that, it's like you don't want to waste your money. Like if you do catch it before you eat it and you're like, oh fuck, this is fucked up. Or you don't want to burn it. Because like that's the other thing is a lot of people would be so scared.
A few moments later.
A lot of people will be so scared of getting sick that they overcook it and they burn it because they don't trust like themselves or the process. So I can teach you guys super, super easy ways and like what equipment you guys will need to be able to cook things very easily without any fear of it not being cooked well enough. So just let me know if you guys would like that. There's nothing wrong with not knowing how to cook, you know what I'm saying? But there is something wrong with being afraid to not learn how to cook, because whether you're a guy, you're a girl, or everything in between nowadays, one of the best features that you can have is knowing how to cook and how to provide for somebody. Food is a great comfort. It's a good dopamine rush. And when you're in a relationship someday, or even just wanting to be like a good host, you're gonna wanna know how to cook. You know what I mean? Like you can be as pretty both as a man and a woman as you want, but ultimately you need to have actual life skills or nobody's gonna wanna fuck with your ass. So, all right, we're almost done skinning this fucker alive. If it screams, that's okay. Just like knock it out. All right. So we got one done. Now let's do the neck. Now I'm just gonna speed through this one. So yeah, enjoy 2 times speed. Okay, we got 2 skinned alive. Now you're probably thinking, I'm done. However, nigga, I'm not, nigga. Because we need to do a whole nother cucumber at least. Now we're probably gonna do a big fat mama. So let's speed through this one. If you're following along with the instructions, maybe slow it down or just pause it, yeah. All right, let's go. In the vlog, I'll play for you guys what I'm listening to right now. We have finally finished skinning these alive. Now let's go to the next process. So the next thing you need to do is make just like super thin cuts of this, okay? So what we're gonna do here is you're gonna go straight down the side and try to get it as thin as you can without breaking like the, you know, breaking through. So like kind of be conscious. Boom, that was a semi-decent one. Let me cut this in half actually. We're gonna put our finished ones over to the side here. You obviously really don't wanna cut yourself here. The title of this series is How to Cook Food and Not Die, so preferably you keep my ratings up by not dying while following my instructions. Now we're just gonna speed through this process as well, so enjoy 2 times speed once again. All right. Now by now your water will probably be either boiling or close to boiling, so you definitely want to make sure that you're safely just kind of speeding up this process a little bit like I am right now. And what I'm doing is instead of cutting it in half, I'm just cutting it in full and then I cut it in half afterwards, like each individual slice. So you can do it that way if you want as well, whichever is easiest really. All right, and that should be enough cucumbers. We're gonna tuck this other one away in my ass. There we go. Now let's do the limes real quick. And we're gonna cut up 4 of them. Instead of just cutting them half, I've found that you honestly get more juice out of them when you cut them into 4 squares. Well, technically like 8 if you include both halves. So like when you cut them like that, you get a lot more juice out of them. I found a lot more juice gets wasted when you only cut them in half. And obviously you want to get as much bang for your buck as you can, especially in today's economy. So I suggest 4s. This could be enough, but I'm just gonna play it safe. I do like mine a little bit limier too. It just really complements the seasoning and cilantro. So I'm gonna cut up 1 more just to be sure we get a good amount of lime juice. And if needed, we can always cut up more, so no biggie. Okay, now we're just gonna put these in here. Damn, in a bowl that looks like so much more. I'm gonna rinse off this thing. Now, as far as cutting things go, there isn't too much left to do. So all we really need
is to put the vermicelli noodles on the stove. And I'm not gonna lie, for some reason the mic audio just went completely missing for this segment. But yeah, you don't need to break these up like spaghetti noodles. Just take the rubber band off and put them right on in.
All right, so now I'll move these out of the way. We'll go take this camera back because we gotta do some chicken shredding. Okay, so now we do need a mixing bowl for this because you're gonna be mixing up the chicken. Let's get our first victim. Oh yeah. Now these ones are hot. They're already cooked, okay? It literally is falling right off. Like I just grabbed the chicken leg, it fell right off. Oh my God, everything's falling right off. You just take this out, put it right there. Okay, now we do gotta be somewhat speedy because the vermicelli noodles are in there. In fact, hey Siri, start a timer for 12 minutes. All right, we got a timer set for 12 minutes. Let's get it. All right, so we're just gonna take off the skin right away. Dang, you want a chicken leg?
I want a chicken leg.
There's 2 right there. Dude, I went to pull it out by the leg and it just literally melted like right off the, damn, that was such a good bite of meat too. It literally melted right off. If you want this other chicken, like go for it. You fuck with it, is it good? Yeah guys, so basically I raised these chickens, slaughtered them myself and then made them. Definitely not out of a Walmart bag.
I don't hear comments of, oh, the black man eating chicken.
Hold on, chat, I'll be right back. I need to grab paper towel. Forgot that I was cleaning my sink and I think I took the last roll. Let me mix this vermicelli right away too. Cool, all right, let's go. So, ow. We're gonna just start carving off large chunks of this and we're just gonna put them in our bowl right away, okay? Boom. Bro, like these chickens are just so awesome because it literally is just like basically falling right off the bone, bro. Like it's very tender chicken, especially for being Walmart hot chicken, not bad. At this point, you can just set the knife to the side, rip into this bitch like a caveman.
Don't let him pressure you. Stay cool, then attack.
At the top, bitch, it kick like it's Baki. Bitch, on my dick, eat it up, teriyaki. Used to eat rice and roni, now we eating steak hibachi. I'm a dog, niggas.
Okay, we've low-key taken like every piece of meat off this thing. Literally all that's left is like the underside, which is like low-key super soggy. I don't really use it. There's not too much meat here anyways. Here we go. We can use this. A lot of it just ends up being pretty fatty. All right, we can throw this one away. Oh, fuck, it's literally falling apart, bro. You know, whenever I'm doing shit like this, I always just think like, thank God we're at the top of the food chain because holy fuck. Like imagine motherfuckers just like cutting you up and carving you like this or like cutting up your mans and carving them like this, like just for like a snack. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about that shit all the time. I'm not even trolling, bro. Like I dead be thinking about that. Like thank God we have thumbs on everything. Thank God we have thumbs. All right, chicken number 2. Now, if you're not making too many spring rolls, you really can get away with just getting 1 chicken if it's like decently sized. It really doesn't matter. Boom, put that over to the side. Okay. Let me go mix the noodles again. Oh yeah, they're looking pretty good. Okay, we have 6 minutes left, but the noodles are looking super good. We may even pull them a little bit sooner, to be honest. All right, let's just do our first incision cuts. It just makes it easier to rip off. But realistically, this shit's so tender, I could just palm it. All right.
Roll up, that real exotic, so much smoke I might die. Always had a small circle, bitch, I do this for my guys. Pull out the 4-5, it's punching like Muay Thai. Got all of these blue bills, my pockets like Mordecai. Fuck on that hoe till her back hurts. Jeans looking clean in the sneaks with a black shirt. So much green, I would play for the pack.
All right, we have our bowl of chicken. Yes, sir. Now, for the next part, so we gotta make sure our seasoning is ready. This container usually comes with a little spoon in it, like so. Very handy, very useful. Here's what the seasoning looks like. All right, so if you have any cuts in your hands, I suggest using a glove. Otherwise, this next part is going to suck, okay? We're gonna squeeze out lime juice from all of these just directly onto the chicken. Hella lime juice. If little lime bits get in there, it's not the end of the world.
Green, I don't play for the Packers. Bullets ripping through him, I'ma leave that nigga tattered. I'm a singing nigga, but I swear that doesn't matter.
Hey Siri, how much time's left on my timer?
There's a timer with 2 minutes and 50 seconds
Oh,
left.
fuck.
Drink got me glitching like somebody hit the lag switch. Keep this heat on me, chop shoot like Goran Dragic. Moving forward.
Okay, now let's just start kind of shredding it, ripping it up. It honestly does go quicker if you just use your hands. I used to try to use like tools and shit, so I was like, oh, I don't wanna, but like, bro, it takes so much longer. And like, you get the perfect like shred and shit like that by just squeezing, pulling, ripping it up. Some real barbaric caveman shit. Now, before you do the seasoning and other parts, you definitely do want to shred it up more just because it's easier. Then you only get like chicken and lime juice on your fingers. So I'm literally just gonna take this, boom, put the strainer right there, and then give this stuff a good stir. Oh yeah, it's good to go. Oh fuck, oh fuck. I should have stirred it more. I can feel a lot of it's crusted to the bottom. That's okay. All right, turn off the water. Careful of the steam. Speaking of which, it's burning the fuck out of me. All right, let's continue. Now like that stuff on the bottom is exactly why you gotta make sure you keep stirring. There's not too much you can do now. A lot of it's just kind of small and microscopic anyways. All right, so the reason why you need one is because even with how thin this is, you can still see some of the noodles poking out the bottom, right? So you wanna get rid of a lot of that hot water, and then you wanna spray this down for like 60 seconds straight with cold water, okay? My sink has the option to switch between this, so I'm gonna switch to this one and let it get as cold as it possibly can be, and then I'm gonna start spraying this down. You do not, like, you eventually wanna use your hand to like really mix it, but you do not wanna do that right away. Trust me, you will burn the fuck out of your hand. I've done it way too many times. Okay, it's pretty cold, let's get it. Be courteous of like the bottom, be aware, make sure that like not too many noodles are like literally making their way through the strainer. Again, if you don't have the right strainer, this whole process right here just gets fucked. Uh-oh, the camera battery is super low. It may die. Give me just a second. I'm gonna let that drain while I go get a different camera battery. Alrighty, we are back. Now you can start to like mix your hand in there after rinsing it with cold water for a minute. It's not too hot anymore. The bottom does have some boiling though, so be careful. Now the cold water does too also really help it like stiffen up. Okay, it's about good. Let's just make sure all that water is gone. Oh wow, we can actually fit all of it. I normally would use a bigger bowl like I did for the chicken, but I don't feel like washing one right now. So for now, we'll just do this. Okay, so now that we have our noodles ready, what we're gonna do is we need a big plate to roll on. Now, in order to make the spring roll wrapping paper function properly, you need like hot ass water, like not boiling water, but you need hot ass water to dip it in. I'm gonna be putting it in this pan because it has like big edges, and then I'm literally just gonna set it right there. So you'll see the full process. Okay, we have hot water. Let's finish mixing this chicken real quick. We are gonna use some more limes. Gotta be quick so that the water doesn't cool down too much. We are double fisting the lemons. Okay, that should be good. Now let's add in the cilantro. Boom. Now let's add some seasoning. Okay, you low-key need a good amount. So I'm gonna do a big scoop here and kind of sprinkle it all over. Another one, and one more for good measure. Mix this up.
I don't know what niggas mad for. She said I'm acting like an asshole. I see bitches on.
Okay, it's honestly looking pretty good. We're just gonna add a little bit more seasoning. Another big scoop and one more. All right, should be good. Give it another mixture.
Dance flow. Smoke my blunt and I get in the mode.
Awesome, okay. The chicken is looking magnificent. Move that over to the side, this, boom. Okay, let me rinse off my hands. All right, let's get it. So, take your rolling paper, set that right there. All right, so you wanna make sure that you dip this in the hot water, like all the way around. So you're gonna spin it around, make sure it's good. If your water starts to cool down too much, you'll know because your rice paper will stay pretty hard. You want it to come out and still have like a little bit of that like paper noise, you know? Lay it down because it'll like continually get soft for a bit here. So the first thing you wanna do is take some vermicelli noodles, and that's gonna be your first part of your first roll. You can put a decent amount, but not too much. See, like that was low-key too much right there. That's good, that's good. Boom. Now you're gonna take it, roll and tuck, and really just kind of like wrap it under there, like pinch it a little bit. Boom. The next thing you're gonna do, fucking noodle, is grab some chicken and then some cucumber. Boom, I like to put 2, like that. And then you're gonna wanna take your lettuce, boom. And then from there, you tuck in the sides, like that, tuck in the sides, and then roll it over while still tucking in the sides, kind of like making a burrito. Exactly like making a burrito, actually. And then keep going. And you wanna give it a little squeeze, just like make sure it's all good, kind of push in the ends a little bit, and voila.
I smoke my blunt and I get in the mood.
So now I'm gonna keep on rolling. We're gonna just speed up this process here, and I'm gonna set this over here to the side. And then after I have a bunch of them rolled, I'm gonna start saran wrapping a lot of them. I suggest saran wrapping them right away. Also, try to make sure that they're not like touching. Whenever that happens, I found that it's very prone to ripping, like a lot more frequently, because the rice paper is just so sticky once it's wet. I am gonna refresh my hot water, because like when I was doing the chicken, it cooled down a lot. I like to put a decent amount of chicken in there. Bow, bow. Low-key gonna hit that with a 3-piece. No fries.
When I'm feeling, gotta play it gooch. I got my blunt and I'm right next to you. I roll my blunt right up next to you. Lose control right up next to you. Go.
All right, and we have our spring rolls. Here's all of them rolled up, and enjoy. Now, I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, I do like to enjoy them with some spicy yum yum sauce. Dang likes to just enjoy them raw, but I'm a sauce guy.
Bad little bitch, she pushing me out again. Hopping that SRT out again. Is you gonna hear me out? If it's about money, I'm hearing it out. See the eyes outside and we clearing them out. This little thoughts, I'ma slut me out. I can't wait. You know I be blowing on gas like octane. Ain't about money, then I can't. It's about money, then